At JFK Airport, anticipation runs high. A flight from the Dominican Republic is landing, and officers already have their eyes on a person of interest. As passengers begin exiting the jetway, she appears calm/composed, but something about her draws attention. She moves with a noticeable limp, her expression tight with pain. Officers notice it immediately. She claims she was bumped on the right leg during disembarkation, wincing dramatically. But the brace? It's on her left leg? That inconsistency alone sends up red flags. No checked luggage, just a carry-on and a story that's already falling apart. Officers Bono and Abreu trail her through immigration. They're not rushing, they're watching. Every detail, every answer. She says she traveled for medical treatment, a cortisone shot, supposedly cheaper in the Dominican Republic. But that excuse doesn't sit right. Why spend hundreds on airfare for a cheap shot your insurance would cover here? More questions follow. Who paid for her ticket? A man? She says. A relationship? Maybe. Something casual. Maybe a sugar daddy? They press gently, trying to confirm details, but her answers keep shifting. She's escorted to a secondary inspection room. Still calm, still limping. Then she asks to use the bathroom. Officers prep the restroom in advance. If anything is hidden inside her, they can't risk it being flushed. She's nervous now, trembling. The officers reassure her, but the tension climbs. She sits. Minutes pass, no sound, no movement. They wait. When she emerges, she's pale, on edge, and then she collapses. A slow fall, almost theatrical, but potentially serious. Officers rush in. EMS is called. They stabilize her. No obvious medical issue, but something deeper is wrong. She knows the lie is unraveling, and the real story is just beginning. EMS arrives fast. The passenger lies motionless, on the floor, arms limp, eyes fluttering. Officers hover close, watching for signs of distress or deception. She's conscious, but quiet. They talk to her gently, asking about medications, underlying conditions, what day it is. She answers slowly, but she's coherent. The collapse was dramatic, but her vitals are steady. They help her sit up. No more feigning, no more games. At this point, protocol demands a hospital visit, but the officers make one thing clear. The customs inspection isn't over. Whether she's in the terminal or a hospital bed, the truth is still coming out. At the hospital, doctors prepare her for a CAT scan. Officers remain nearby. Her story is already crumbled, and what happens next could save or end her life. The scan confirms it. Foreign objects inside her body. She admits to what they suspected. Multiple balloons, cocaine, hidden in her bra, at least 2 more inside her body. Extraction begins slowly, carefully. The risk is extreme. If a single balloon ruptures, it could be fatal. The first one comes out, pure, white powder. Cocaine, hydrochloride, its scent hangs in the air. Chemical, sharp, unmistakable. Another is removed, then a third. But she winces. Something's wrong. She says there's still one left, and she can't get it out. Doctors try again, but the last balloon won't move. It's hardened. Moisture has seeped through the wrapping. The risk of rupture grows with every minute. Time is running out. Every breath she takes now is borrowed. And the officers, they wait, watching, hoping she survives. Not because they trust her, but because death is injustice. Justice is still coming. Elsewhere in the terminal, another passenger is pulled aside. A routine screening flagged her for questioning, but what's discovered is anything but routine. She traveled light. Just one oversized purse and confidence that felt a little too steady. Officers begin the bag search. Nothing visible at first. No hidden pockets, no false bottoms, but the weight feels off, heavier than it should be. They feel the lining, thicker than normal. Fingers press along the seams, and then, resistance, something packed, something foreign. The fabric is sliced open. Inside tightly wrapped packages, both sides of the purse stuffed with concealed bundles. The woman's face crumples instantly. No more poise, just tears. She starts to cry, hands shaking, head low. Field tests confirm it. Coke and she's placed under arrest. Another smuggler caught, another life rerouted by a risk that wasn't worth it. Back in the interview room, she breaks down further. Officers speak softly, but directly. They've seen this before. Someone used, someone in debt, someone desperate. They ask who gave her the bag, how she met him. If she knew what was inside, she hesitates. Deflects? Just a friend, she says. No, not a boyfriend, but she can't recall his last name, or where he lives, or what exactly he asked her to do. The tears are real, but so is the crime. She holds nothing back now. She offers to message him, cooperate, tell them everything. She wants out of this, but it's too late to undo the choice. Now, it's about accountability, and maybe redemption. The agents record every word, every name, every inconsistency. Somewhere in her story might be the next lead, the next arrest. Another case unfolding in a sea of faces. This case didn't start with a passenger. It started with a bag. A flight from Jamaica had landed weeks ago. As passengers exited, one bag remained unclaimed. Sitting still on the carousel, marked by a purple bandana, No tags, no owner. Officers opened it. Inside, 3.5 kilos of cocaine. They rewound the surveillance footage, watching every moment, every person moving near that carousel. Then, they saw him, an airport employee, searching, scanning every bag, clearly looking for something. He was on the phone with someone in Jamaica. The purple bandana had been on the underside of the bag, invisible unless flipped. He missed it, but he was hunting for it, and now he was caught on tape. The investigation moved slowly, carefully, enough to build a case, enough to get a warrant. He wasn't just a worker, he was part of a pipeline. The plan was simple: wait for him to leave his home, follow him, make the arrest before his shift. The target was large, 250 pounds, easy to spot. Surveillance tracked his every move. 5 a.m. came, no movement. But at 5:26, a red Nissan Rogue pulled up. The moment he stepped outside, agents moved in. The takedown was quiet, clean, no resistance. He sat still in the back seat of the unmarked car as officers confirmed his identity. Another breach inside the system sealed. Back at headquarters, they began the interview. He wasn't just moving bags. He was working with someone on the outside, coordinating with traffickers from the inside. 1 weak link in airport security, but it was enough to risk everything. And enough to bring the whole thing down. Far from the airport terminals, a warehouse hums with quiet motion. Shipments roll in from across the globe. South America, Europe, Mexico, crates full of food, spices, gifts. But behind the labels, officers know better. Not every package carries what it claims. They begin inspecting shipments from Mexico. Tamales, peanuts, Tupperware sealed tight. Too dense, too perfect. They open it. Inside, neatly wrapped bricks hidden among the food. At first glance, it's just more tamales, but a test strip turns pale, beige. Heroin, more containers are cracked open, more bricks. Some of them bear brown tape, a telltale sign. One test comes back with something else. Fentanyl? Just 7% of it, but enough to kill dozens. The officers separate the loads. Heroin on one table, heroin laced with fentanyl on another. The seizure's value skyrockets. A few $100,000 becomes nearly $1 million. Each container they open tells a story of smugglers testing new routes, new disguises, new methods. They pack food with drugs, hoping inspectors will grow tired, overwhelmed, or careless. But not this team. As the final packages are logged and weighed, HSI steps in. A controlled delivery may follow. New targets may surface. This isn't just about catching couriers. It's about collapsing the networks. Because every seized brick is one less on the street, and every failed concealment makes the next smuggler hesitate. In a world of endless cargo, vigilance is the only constant. The final balloon was lodged deep inside her body, and it refused to move. Doctors struggled. The cocaine had hardened. The moisture inside her had fused with the material, turning it solid. It could rupture at any moment. Every minute was risk. Then the message came in. They'd removed it. Carefully, successfully. The danger had passed. Officers at Terminal 4 received the update. Their suspect, alive, stable, back in custody. She would now face the consequences. Later, during follow-up questioning, she quietly confessed. This wasn't her first time. She had smuggled before. The adrenaline, the money, the manipulation. But this time, she got caught. She would enter the system now. Courts, charges, and a long process ahead. But maybe, just maybe, a second chance too. At the airport, lines moved forward. Flights arrived. Passengers filed through security. The machine kept running, but the agents remained, watching, listening, working. Because behind the passports and smiles, the next story was always boarding, and they were ready to catch it before it took off. Every suitcase has a story, every passenger, a choice, and every arrest a message. If this journey pulled you in, don't forget to subscribe, because the next flight is already boarding, and so is the next lie. Because on this channel, we don't just watch the smugglers, we catch them.